Hi everyone, it's Patrick. Hope you're doing well today. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Cedar more effectively and productively. First thing you need to do is to launch your browser, Microsoft Edge in my case, and then navigate to the URL cedar.wilberforce.ac.uk. Once you've done that, I want you to log in, and I'll do just that with my own login details. Once you've successfully logged in, the next thing you need to do is to find the class. First of all, whose work you wish to mark and whose work you need to mark and marks you need to store on Cedar. So in my case, I'm going to store the marking for 312M, one of my first year IT groups. So I click on the class, and then once I've done that, I then need to find the markbook associated with that class. So to do that, I need to go over here to the green menu on the side, find the markbook drop-down menu, and then I need to scroll down so I can see this better. There should be an option here for BTEC tracker. There it is. It can be hard to find. Sometimes the resolution of your monitor might be insufficient to see the whole menu, but anyway, the one you want to see is the BTEC tracker. So click on BTEC tracker. In my case, it may be different for you. And then once you've got that, you then need to find the unit that you wish to store marks for. So again, I'm going to just search for the unit that I'm currently delivering to that class, and that is website development, which is this one here. So click on website development. And then afterwards, you need to find the link which says mark this unit. Now, already you can see that finding this particular markbook has been quite a long-winded process. Several selections having to be made and so on, and it can become a real pain having to do this again and again. So, to that end, I would advise you, and I'm doing it myself, is I'm making a series of bookmarks for all of these locations. So I'm just going to store this as a link that I can come back to without having to navigate through the menus. And to do that, I'm going to press Ctrl-D. I'm just going to store it for now on my favorites bar. I can find a permanent home for it later on, but I'm just going to call it IT312M and then a dash and then U6. In fact, now that I've made a folder, I might just go ahead and store it in Markbook 2122, which is this folder in the favorites bar. Click done, and I now have that bookmarked and saved here, IT312M Unit 6. So I don't any longer need to navigate through the menus to find this particular page. So with all that said and done, the next step is to mark once you've marked your work, is to store those marks in this particular markbook. Now, up to this point, I have used a personal tracker in Excel, which is stored in my OneDrive. So I'm just going to quickly load that up and we'll have a look at it. Okay, so I just need to scroll back this way. And the class, of course, I want is Year 1, Unit 6. And then I may need to scroll up or across, depending. And that's 311. So I'm just going to scroll down to 312, which is here. Just zoom out for a slightly better look at that. All right. Now, as you can see, these are the current status of students marking. The vast majority of students have completed assignment 1, and that's what I want to store on Cedar right now. So what I need to do is to find a way to have all of the assignment 1, P1 criteria turned green, or at least marked with a P mark. I could manually go ahead and click through all these boxes one by one by one by one by one, but as you can imagine, again, that's quite a laborious task. Fortunately, Cedar has a way that you can get around that. So you get around that by the following. Click on P1 up here at the top. This is the heading of the column. Click it once and you get all the boxes turned green. Now, obviously, we're not looking for the C mark here. We want the P mark, and that's what we've got after the second click. Let's just go back to our tracker again. Check a second time. We've got merits, all bar 2 for the students. I'll turn them all. I'll give them all a merit, and then I'll remove the 2 that have not yet received that merit or achieved it. And the same for distinction. So M1. It's a curious feature of Cedar that for BTECs we have pass, merit, distinction, but only the pass can be used as a mark on Cedar. So I guess that's a shortcoming we just have to work around for now. But anyway, they've all been passed, and the same again for D1. 2 clicks up here does the trick just fine there. The 2 people that have not yet received those grades, I'm just going to quickly remove them. Maybe change them to referrals. So we've got Kai and we've got Keenan, who both should be, whose marks should both be altered, hopefully temporarily. So we need to just find Kai first of all and change these individual grades to R for referral or referred. So once we've done that, we can then go ahead and just look back over the marks that we've given. If we're happy with that, we can go ahead and we can save this or submit it. And we'll do that by clicking the Submit Form button. And that stores the grades as you enter them just moments ago. And you can see the inputs down here in a slightly different form, but the grades themselves are accurate in terms of the data that I entered. Now, this is where things get interesting. What if the situation changes whereby you marked a student's work or multiple students' works, or you put the wrong grades in, or you tick the wrong boxes or columns or whatever? What do you need to do if you need to alter the grades? Well, on the face of it, it's simple enough in the sense that you need to go back in and individually modify each particular grade that you maybe erroneously put in the first place. So that's actually fine up to that point. But what if you decide, or what if you realize to your horror that actually you've put passes in the wrong column, for example, and you want to remove all of these passes and put them in here, by way of example. So that would ordinarily mean having to manually click on this box 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times to remove that P mark, and then the same again, all the way down. A lot of clicks. Well, just first of all, to let you know that you cannot use this heading to alter the grades in an individual column once you've entered a set. So if I go now to click on P1, the heading that is, previously that would just alter the grades, lock, stock, and barrel, but now it won't do that anymore because I've entered grades there. So you need to be very careful that you use this particular feature in Cedar carefully, and that you don't, enter grades without maybe being very careful about it, because if you put grades in the wrong column, you got to then manually remove them all, and that can be a real pain. If you, just while we're looking at other columns here, if you click on P2, you are able to do this for other columns. But as I say, once you've entered a set of grades for a given column, you then can't go and use this feature again. So you need to make sure that you use this particular feature very wisely and carefully. I'm not going to save this because obviously they're inaccurate marks, but I am going to refresh my markbook and leave that P2 column as unsaved. So we're kind of left with the question as what to do with these marks. If you want to change a set of them, you can't click on the heading of the column. So what do you do? What you do, folks, is the following. This is not a completely bulletproof solution, but it's a way that I found that certainly makes my experience of using Cedar that bit easier. What you need to do, first of all, is type in a web address. Now, I've already prepared that on a Word document here. So the web address is as follows. It's tiny.cc/chckuz. That's all lowercase. If you don't type that in correctly as you see it, it may take you down a different path, and you won't end up with the software that you need. So I've already copied this to my clipboard, so I'm just going to open a new tab, my main browser window, paste it in, and then it takes us to a page called Door to Windows. And on that page, there's a link to software